Hello. Today we are having testing training for homebound and day treatment teachers. I'm April Bruce, the Director of Testing, Guidance, and Gifted Education with Lynchburg City Schools. And if you're watching this training video, that means you are likely going to be distributing or giving SOL tests during our spring testing season. SOL testing is required for all students and must be administered in a very secure manner. Before testing, there are several things that need to take place, such as making sure that you have the correct test and the correct answer document. Student name should be on both. The answer document should be carefully gridded with information unless a label is present. That would be determined by whoever you are getting your materials from. Make sure your test booklet stays locked at all times. This is a secure document and needs to stay secure in a locked facility if at all possible. Read through the examiner's manual thoroughly so that you'll know exactly what to expect on testing day. Determine what materials are needed. That could include scratch paper, number 2 pencils, calculators, rulers. It just depends on the grade level and the test that you'll be administering. Also, determine how the student will be tested. If they have accommodations, you need to know which accommodations they have and how you will implement those accommodations for that particular student. If the accommodation of read aloud is needed, that particular session must be recorded or proctored by another adult. It's important that you prepare a quiet testing location for your students. Make sure that it is free from distractions and make sure that they have plenty of workspace. Also, read and sign the security agreement. Wherever you're watching this video, there will be somebody there with a security agreement. The security agreement is required for all individuals administering tests. The security agreement is a 4-page document, and in this 4-page document there are a lot of different things that you need to be aware of. For instance, this is something that is passed by the General Assembly each year dealing with violations of test security. Some of the things that are mentioned would be the Attorney General, on behalf of the Board of Education, may bring cause of action in circuit court having jurisdiction where the person resides or where the act occurred for injunctive relief, civil penalty, or both. Any person who knowingly and willingly commits any of the following acts related to secure mandatory tests required by the board to be administered to students. These include permitting unauthorized access to secure test questions prior to testing. Number 2, copying or reproducing all or any portion of any secure test booklet. Divulging the contents of any portion of the secure test. Altering test materials or examinees' responses in any way. Creating or making available answer keys to secure tests. Making false certification on the security form established by the Department of Education. Excluding students from testing who are required to be tested. Or participating in, directing, aiding, abetting, or assisting in any of the acts prohibited in this section. That's one particular section dealing with violations of test security procedures. Another also mentioned, the Board of Education may suspend or revoke the administrative or teaching license it has issued to any person who willingly commits any of the following acts related to secure mandatory tests. Giving unauthorized access to secure test questions, copying or reproducing all or any portion of any secure test booklet, divulging the contents of any portion of the test, coaching or assisting examinees during testing or altering test materials or examinees' responses in any way, making available any answer keys, failing to follow test security procedures established by the Department of Education, providing a false certification on any test security form, retaining a copy of secure test questions, excluding students from testing who are required to be assessed, and participating in, directing, aiding, assisting in, or encouraging any aspects prohibited by this section. Those are just some of the things mentioned. The last page of the packet will be your security agreement, which basically is stating that you will not divulge contents of the test to anyone, you will not improperly review test items or test booklets, copy or take notes about any part of the test, you will not allow access to test materials to any student or to another person so authorized by the school test coordinator, you will not author responses in any way, you will not provide answers to test items or other improper assistance to students. If serving as an examiner for online read aloud sessions, you will not answer any of the test questions in the web-based assessment before, during, or after the test. I've read the legislation. It will also ask you to read the legislation passed by the General Assembly, which we just went over, and it will make sure that you check that you also understand the security procedures that we went over. That will be kept on file and turned into the State Department, ensuring that all security has been followed. This form will be available from the location where you'll be receiving your training. During testing, there are also some things that need to be followed. Again, make sure that you have all the correct testing materials. That would include the test booklet, the answer document, and any other materials that are required, such as scratch paper, the number 2 pencils, calculator, ruler, or any other materials that are required for the particular test you're administering. Also, administer the test as detailed in the examiner's manual. It tells you exactly what you need to say. The examiner's script is basically in bold, and you need to follow that as closely as possible. Be careful with math tests because only some of the portions of the test may require a calculator. Some do not require a calculator at all. Others have a section that requires the calculator, so you have to be very careful to pass out the calculators at the appropriate time. Again, do not provide assistance with content. You may give assistance with directions and restate directions you have already given. Any test irregularities that may come up, such as cheating or a student getting ill or not being able to finish the test, need to be reported to the Fort Hill School or to me, and I will give you my contact information at the end. After testing is complete, make sure you collect all the secure test material. That includes scratch paper of any kind, any manipulatives such as calculators, rulers, pencils, all of that. Make sure that you collect it. Secure material, again, must be locked up and away from students. After testing, there are some other things that you need to keep in mind. All testing materials, again, must be kept in a secure location. Make sure that all demographic information is correct and gridded. Make sure the name, date of birth, student number, test identifying number is present on the booklet. There is a chance that you may have a label, a barcoded label that may have this information on it already. If it does not have a barcoded label, you will need to grid that information in. It's also important to erase any stray marks that may be present in the book. That way scoring would be a lot easier for the machines that actually read the bubbles on the test answer document. Do not put any testing materials in a school mailbox, say at Fort Hill Community School or anywhere else. Do not put them in school mail. These are not secure locations, and we are not permitted to put any kind of testing materials in those locations. Make sure that you deliver to a person who can immediately lock up the materials.